Hello everyone and Happy New Year. Today I would like to show you the gear and the setup I used to kill the TA Traveler with the Lightning Beam build. So, in terms of actual damage or, affected DPS with this build is around 1 billion sustain up to 2 or maybe 3 billion on burst, but mostly hovering around 1 billion. The fight took me 10, between 8 and 10 minutes, something like that, maybe a little bit more. So it's definitely on the low end for the fight. I would say with experience you could kill Traveler on this amount of damage, but if you want to do it more comfortable, I would go at 3 to 4 billion just to be sure. So, but the reason I wanted to do it as soon as possible is because of the race. I managed to get the 8th spot on the Thea rank. Not all the characters have been completed already, so say there's a lot of time. You might be able to level a new character right now, Ranger of Glory Carino, and do it on its. That's the way it is right now with that character. Of course, Iris is already done. I think Rosa as well. Well, not many people have done it with Rosa, at least in America. So anyway, in terms of the current setup, it didn't change much, except I added refracted prism for clear. I don't know why. I think the skill wasn't able to refract, but it does, and it's very noticeable, especially on T8. On T7, you can just make do with, single target setup, and the additional beams will take care of the trash alongside the explosions. But you definitely want this for T8, and especially if you want to go into this space with it. But for single target, you go crit damage is the highest multiplier. For same setup for mobility, I switched to. I had Secret Origin Unleashed here, so I changed that to Euphoria. With the Precise Euphoria, I have a slightly higher uptime of the buff. So, Arcane Circle gives you pen and gives you additional spell damage. Very good, especially with Mania. And on manually casting this, at least for boss fights, I think for clear you just go rhythm and forget about it. Change the I think I was using the frost shield. I added delayed pain. Delayed pain is very good because I have 4 start, and delayed pain has defensive layers, so it means that if 4 start triggers and delayed pain triggers as well, even the ticks from delayed pain will not stop the energy shield recharge, so I keep recharging. I also have a lot of regain and regain interval, so this is very good for builds that have such high sustain. Same mana boil setup. Change this to a Precise Euphorion hit, and I remove the Thunder Imbue. I bought a Precise Thunder Imbue, but I think Electric Conversion takes precedence over it for kind of obvious reasons, right? It's a more multiplier, and the Precise version has Lightning Pen, so it's even better. Thunder Spirit's still good. Origin Unleash is better than Arcane Circle and that Fixate, because cast speed is very good with this build. Has been taking damage still. Bought the Precise Eliamp, and I bought the Precise Crimson Hits, or the Precise Crimson Hit, and I added the Abysmal Hatred here. In terms of candles, I added a +1 beam candle with a Seal Mana and Aura effect, and this is just a placeholder. I would want another +1 here with maybe, I don't know if refraction can be obtained, or maybe a support skill candle would be very good for additional damage. For passives, I'm still doing Goddess of Knowledge, but there's some things that I'm tweaking here every now and then. So mandatory +1 spell skill level and the max focus blessings because we're Thea. But also, you can play around with this seal mana. They made a change this season where the medium talents, you can now stack more than 1 point. So you can put 3 points here and it's 3 seal mana per point. It's very efficient. So if you want to just squeeze out another aura, you can add or remove points from this here. And, you know, these points here is just to... I want it a little bit more sustained, but, you know, if you want to be a little bit more effective, you would not have this and add crit to get into the crit damage, or just fill up this to the skill cost reduction. Is very good, since we're not going into spending shenanigans. I don't care to have a high skill cost. If I can have it be 0, that'll be great. Again, Beacon and Insight still. Magister still doing bunch and still doing play safe. Here I went into the defense. I want to add here the extra resistance, since we have evasion gloves and we have the armor aura, so this adds to that on top of increasing the energy shield. So it's a very efficient point. Armor and evasion are very important layers. Same reason why I'm getting aura effect and aura radius. Aura effect increases armor, increases damage, increases all the modifiers from the auras. And spell crit per focus is a very high multiplier you can get. And the Blade Runner, I didn't change anything. I'm just getting barely the enough points here, with the most important points being probably the max agility blessings, the cooldown for cooldown recovery for movement skills, this regain interval for sustain, and the additional shock, trigger additional shock. Radius is pretty good as well. Crit damage is good. New God. So I bought this corner for the boss fights. Again, I really like regain interval. It makes sustaining on tough situations very good. And shock settle adds a little bit of damage. Probably the max spell burst or spell skill level is better than shock settle, but those are, you know, expensive corners around the 200-300 FE mark. This is, you know, just, and this is a decent roll as well. It's just the max spell burst that's important there. This one rolled crit per focus, also a good mod. I like this one because of the paralyze. Paralyze is an additional multiplier. And this restoring energy shield on suffering severe injury is very good for sustain as well. Hero. I didn't showcase hero memories and relics last time around, but I really like this mod, getting the extra CDR. So this is worth like having maybe 200% cooldown reduction, 100% cooldown reduction, something like that, because it's cutting the cooldown of divine punishment in half. So it's a lot of CDR worth for a single mod. And this 3 damage for the next main skill for his stack of blessing. This used to be on the memories, and this is what, you know, Thundercloud Theas used to stack, but they moved that, so we can't stack it anymore. But still, it's still a very good mod to have as a one-off. So still try to get a tier 1 this, and if you like this, you may get that one. I've seen people doing cooldown reduction for divine punishment or another additional damage modifier, so those are also options. You need to test this a lot, see what works for you. So the sanity sphere, the most important thing is the crit chance on focus blessing. And I got a Place of the Oracle. This was 280 FE. Basically, +2 focus blessings, and helps with the tenacity and agility blessing sustain. Alongside this, you might argue that going into this is better, but you know, this is a 40% additional. This is up to 1250 additional, but this is not as reliable as this, in my opinion. I've seen, you know, similar results in terms of damage between both, but I like this a little bit more. And the other one is just any additional damage mod, double damage mod. You know, blessing gain, something like that is good for this bot. Then, okay, so we got talents, we got skills, we got memories and relics. Pets. So pets, just still doing, you know, whatever damage pets you can get. I like the curse one, but I have this one only at level 1. So I would say, in terms of points, being point efficient, using a blue one that you have leveled is better than using, you know, a high level, a low level legendary or a low level purple. But I don't have anything similar to this, and the curse effect adds a lot of damage in my opinion. Plus this is an additional damage multiplier. So I think this pet is very good even as a level 1, and then just add whatever. Again, if you don't have 3 damage pets, what you do is you put your damage pet here on the drop side. Then you put your blue damage pet here so you can get the damage reduction points. This is very good damage reduction. This is physical damage reduction. Some mana regen, some resistance. And then you put and then you use whatever pet here to get the most points possible, and then you put every single damage point here, and that's how you get the most damage with you know, blue pets and stuff. So again, I did a T8 Traveler, so that means that I can clear T8, of course. Can I do T8 as I should at the moment? Not really. I think if you want to do T8, beacons right now are very cheap, so there's that. But if you want to be effective at running T8, you have to run it juiced. You have to know add it to 100% quant and rarity. That makes monsters really tough. So usually, if I want to try to do that, I would do something like this to add the frost shield and avoid death. So with frost shield, you become really defensive. You can do all in here for the extra evasion. It's just a little bit more evasion and some extended duration. And then you go in. The explosions carry a lot of the clear. I like having the Trial of the God of War because that also carries the clear a lot. As you can see, damage is very high. Oh, very important. I didn't show the gear. I'll show the gear after the map. See, the clear it's okay. It takes you a little bit longer than it should, in my opinion. And you could argue that you could run T7, 7-2 maps, which monsters don't have as much HP, as much defense as they don't hit us hard, and you can get similar amounts of loot on a faster pace. So I'll just get whatever. Purple Netherrealm. Netherrealm doesn't seem that good to me. I'll just get this instead. So because of how the skill works, you sometimes the stragglers die, but sometimes they are left alive. So that happens when you're, you know, speedrunning maps.
The mirror of fate has revealed your ignorance.
You see, the explosions are a very good boon here.
I await the gods. The judgment of the gods shall not be. My thoughts.
Oh, we didn't get a boss this time. Okay, gear, very important. The most important probably. Helmet, also spell burst, erosion res. Try to cap erosion res. Try to cap all reses, but you know I missed fireball a little bit. But you can change that in the setup. So if you're doing this setup, you'll do this instead, and then you're capped. No big deal. Go, almost capped. So again, the explode chest, I rolled it, so I got the extra ES roll. I got the crit rating and the old Ellie res. It's a very good mod. Here I added the LRS. This I still need to upgrade all of this, so I would, for this as it is, I would just increase spell damage, increase cast speed, increase erosion. This is not a GG amulet by any means. You probably want, you know, injury buffer is good, sealed mana, stuff like that. Get the, you know, double levels. It's also, well, I actually don't know if double levels are possible. Let me see. There's minion, erosion, lightning. Yeah, there's no spell skill level here. Spell burst, okay, you can get spell burst in an amulet, so you would want that. Yeah, active skill level, so you can get actually +2 active and +1 lightning. Not elevated. If you elevate it, you can get +2/+2 or +3/+2. Yeah, +2/+2. So it's very good. It's +4 damage, +4 skill level. Very good. So it's not a GG by any means. Thunder Manipulator, this was costed me like 100 FE. It's good. I still think that a +1 skill with Fervor, with crit damage would probably be better than this, but this is cheaper than crafting gloves such like that, so I would go for this before the craft gloves. The belt, you want this mod, additional damage taken as low mana. I cannot understate how much damage you take in T8, it's insane. So you really need to start stacking the DR and getting your defenses, your resistances up there. So this really helped me on T8. Also, I like the all elemental resistances mods. It makes it easier for you to. It releases suffixes in other parts of gear that you can use for damage. And you know, this mod for Thea is very good. Damage per stack of any blessing. An additional focus blessing is very good on the boots. You can get additional refractions, and then you can switch your setup. Instead of using a clear setup, you just use a single target setup for clear as well, and you're set. Movement speed, of course, on the boots, you want as high movement speed as possible. On the rings, you want max blessing. I've seen people running around with a setup where they instead get gear and, you know, slates and stuff that gives them focus or agility, and then they use the so maximum agility and maximum tenacity applied to maximum focus, then use penetrating, so you get like 30 focus blessings from that. I think that's the way to go, not gonna lie. I think that's better. It's also more expensive though, but I think ultimately it's the ideal setup, so I'll probably switch to that at some point. But I think this, you know, going straight into focus is cheaper, and it's also easier to grasp, in my opinion, if you're more of a beginner. The added is always good. You know, you always want the energy shield or the life if you're life based. And suffixes, you want on ring, you want this mod, elemental and erosion res. I have them both. I have a tier 1 here. This I will need to reroll to tier 1 or tier 0. And then curse effect is good for damage. Crit damage, crit rating, all are good. And the staff I didn't craft, apart from, this is basically the state I got the staff on. I just slammed the additional damage for skills cast by spell burst instead of, I think I had crit rating before, so I invested a little fee on getting this. Now the new crafting system, the dream interpretation, I made the mistake of using it on half-assed items. Or don't do that. Only use it on items that you already finalized crafting and you're not, you know, you don't have any more plasticity. You've upgraded them to tier 0, the mods you wanted, because it's expensive to do the dream interpretation. It's like 5 or 10 depending on the gear piece.
Is the cat still alive?
So yeah, it asks you to unequip it. So this is 5, but a staff is 10 because you know the cost is doubled. And once you do this, you cannot enchant it. You cannot do the this thing where you roll the modifier values. The truth ember, you cannot do that. You cannot do prototype. You cannot do targeted processing. You cannot do anything with the item afterwards. If you want to, you have to remove the dream crafting. So that costs you the same amount. It costs 5 or 10 depending on the gear piece. So I would say stay away from this until you have your item that is very good, and then you want to take it to the next level to get the GG mod. Anyway, this video has been long enough. I'll keep playing this build. I think it has potential. Not gonna lie, it will probably become precise casual channeling. I think that's the way to go, because you know there is no beating the scaling of precise casual channeling. It's higher modifier. It gives you a lot of you know, the skill triggers much faster than you could if you stack insane amounts of cast speed, and then you get to just do this move and then you're casting, and you know it's way better. Like there's no competition to it, so it'll probably be a precise casual channeling in the end. But you know, I'm happy to say that this is a decent, a good starter build. You can farm T7 easily. You can farm T8 with, you know, not so easily, but you can do it. And you can kill T8 Traveler with it. It'll probably not take these bosses as it is. But, you know, the next upgraded version probably will. So, if you would like to see that, stay tuned. If you think I should be playing something else right now, if I should switch builds, if you want me to cover Whirlwind instead, Whirlwind I know got some changes, and some people mentioned that they would like to see it. If you do let me leave me a comment below, and if you enjoyed the video, you know, give it a like and maybe watch some of the other stuff I have on the channel. And have a great day, and again, happy new year to everyone. Bye.